Amsterdam is doomed. And it's not because the city is sinking. Amsterdam was designed around the Grachtengordel, a canal ring system during the Dutch Golden Age in the 17th century. This unique design allows for distinct natural boundaries separating the residential areas, commercial zones, and public spaces. It also gives the city a wonderful aesthetic and provides a crucial form of transportation with the ferries. When this is combined with the city having the best bike infrastructure in the world, and the efficient bus, metro, and tram systems, Amsterdam offers seamless connectivity across all areas, making it easy to travel without relying on cars. Combine this all together, and it's why the city is ranked as one of the best places to live worldwide. However, all this success has come back to bite Amsterdam, as the city has one fatal flaw, which we will reveal in this video, and if there is any way to fix it. But first, we need to understand how the city is suffering from being too environmentally friendly. From Amsterdam to Eindhoven, Rotterdam to Roermond, more than 2,000 tractors clogged highways during the morning rush hour of the 1st of October 2019, causing the biggest traffic jam in Dutch history. You see, in the Netherlands, farming takes up 60% of the land and is one of the biggest industries in the country. In fact, the country has the highest livestock density in the world. This means loads of nitrogen fertilizers are used to grow crops to feed all the animals, which results in loads and loads and loads of manure. This releases lots of nitrogen, and as a result, the Netherlands has one of the highest nitrogen emissions in Europe per capita. Excessive nitrogen has lots of bad effects. It acidifies the soil, changes the nutrient balance of the water, pollutes the air, which can cause asthma in young children, and increases nitrous oxide in the atmosphere, a potent greenhouse gas. This was called the stikstofcrisis, meaning the nitrogen crisis. In response, the government introduced new measures to reduce nitrogen pollution by cutting livestock numbers and lowering the use of nitrogen-based fertilizers. The farmers, however, said that this threatened their livelihoods and felt that they were being unfairly targeted, while other sectors such as construction and transportation did not have to reduce their nitrogen levels. This caused long drawn-out protests and talks between the government and farmers. Due to pressure, the government finally decided to implement broader nitrogen reduction policies, extending the focus to the transport and construction sectors too. New regulations required stricter environmental permits for construction projects, and many buildings were put on pause to reassess their impact on nitrogen levels. This grinding halt has led to a huge bottleneck, especially in Amsterdam, where demand for new homes is the highest. And the butterfly effect led to even greater issues. Amsterdam began as a fishing village in the 12th century, but during the Dutch Golden Age, it expanded rapidly around the canal system, resulting in the tight, compact city we see today. Because it's so intertwined with the water, the Dutch used an innovative way to expand the city, the polder system, a method of reclaiming land from water by building dikes around an area, draining it, and then managing water levels using pumps and canals to keep the land dry. For example, this was used to expand Amsterdam with the creation of the Eiberg neighborhood and the development of the Eastern Docklands. However, it is extremely expensive, and there are very limited new areas that could be reclaimed from the water, and those areas are either used for flood defense management or protected by environmental laws. So with the city already having limited space, it was already very difficult to construct new homes. And the nitrogen permits only made this more difficult. In Amsterdam, they were extremely difficult to get hold of. For example, only 55,000 permits were given out in 2023, but it is estimated 845,000 homes need to be built by 2030 to deal with the need for housing. That is over 120,000 new homes a year, so a clear disconnect. With the demand for housing being so high and the supply being so low, you would think that the construction companies would be making loads of money though. Well, you would be wrong. When the 2008 financial crisis hit, the Dutch construction market was hit harder than any European country, and it has still not really recovered. After the crisis, many construction workers left to other countries. This caused a serious skill drain, which is still the case today. The high demand for skilled construction workers means that their wages have increased each year. This is good for the workers, but not good if you're trying to run a construction construction business. On top of this, there has been a huge rise in the price of raw materials across the EU, as shown by the graph. COVID first caused massive disruption to the global supply chain. Factories closed, transportation routes were delayed, and there was a general slowdown in the production of key materials like steel, timber, and cement, and it has not recovered fully since. The war in Ukraine only worsened the issue, as both are major exporters of metal like steel and aluminium, and natural gas too, causing higher energy prices. When you add this with the difficulty to get nitrogen permits, as we discussed, this led to a huge increase in bankruptcies of the construction companies, and many others are struggling to stay afloat. But this all brings us to the main issue. Amsterdam is suffering from its own success. Despite all these issues with housing, because the city is so well designed with transport, many job prospects, and good quality of life, everyone wants to live in Amsterdam. This means that the simple economic law is in effect. High demand and low supply causes high prices, and house prices are very high. This has meant that for first-time buyers, it is almost impossible to afford a new house. For example, one 28-year-old PhD graduate in Amsterdam said that she had to move 8 times in her first 3 years in the city, from one rental to another. She wants to get a house with her partner, but neither dares to move out because they might not find a place. She said, "That's the worst. All these next steps we're supposed to be taking at our age, as young professionals, they're just not possible. Everything's just on hold. Relationships are being determined by the housing market, and that's obscene." Rising immigration has also not helped. Amsterdam attracts thousands of migrants a year, and this has continued to increase recently. This only adds to the demand and supply issue. Ultimately, this has all created this huge housing crisis all over the Netherlands, but in particular in Amsterdam. But can it be fixed? Well, the space limitations are still a difficult problem to overcome, and it is likely that a new land will be reclaimed around Amsterdam anytime soon. However, the biggest issue, according to experts, is the lack of skilled workers. In fact, in June 2024, 18% of contractors indicated that they were mainly limited by a lack of well-trained staff. The government could change immigration policies for skilled workers, particularly from the EU, to attract them back to the Netherlands. However, this is a paradoxical issue, as immigration is also one of the reasons for the huge housing demand in Amsterdam. For example, in 2022, 400,000 people immigrated to the Netherlands. This was 150,000 more than 2021. And in 2021, 35,000 more people immigrated compared to 2020. It is important to note that much of this immigration rapid rise was due to people fleeing the war in Ukraine. However, the government will have to find a balance of maintaining a steady level of immigration, but ensuring they attract a high amount of skilled workers. Overall, the housing market is stabilizing, but a full recovery is unclear. Construction costs are coming down, and house prices have stopped rising, but they're not falling either. Moreover, the nitrogen laws are still very tight. Ultimately, the government needs to figure out how to quickly build more houses in Amsterdam. That is the crux of the issue. But who knows what will happen in the future for this historic city? Everything I said in this video is half the issue. Amsterdam and all of Western Europe is also facing a religious crisis. If you want to know why, click here to watch.